Want to know what Carplay radio is like on the new Alpine iLX-007? Let's find out. So welcome into my car, and I am driving currently, and I thought I'd give you an actual road test of Carplay radio. This is, as I have a previous video, and I'll post the link actually if you hit that little exclamation point up in the top left corner. You'll get to the previous video I have, but basically a real rough overview of the radio, a breakdown of it. This is more of my review of Carplay radio specifically, but also Carplay radio on the Alpine iLX-007, because there are going to be different experiences depending on the radio you have. So this is my on-road review of the radio. I've had it now for 1-2 months probably now, so I've had it for a little while. I've had a good amount of experience with it. Now that the wireless feature of Carplay radio is available, I wish I kind of had it, but at the same time I'm okay with not having the wireless part, because once you connect your phone to the radio anyway, it works great. However, the nice thing about if you had a radio that was wireless capable, which this radio is not, obviously you wouldn't even have to take your phone out of your pocket. You would just go with it. Nice thing about this is that when I'm on my long journeys, typically I'll have my phone charged up, ready to go as soon as I get there. So while I love the battery life of my 6 Plus, that's one thing that I do like about having it hardwired. That said, let's get into my I guess review of it while I'm driving, so you can obviously see how I like it and what I do with it. This is the main screen in Carplay interface itself, and basically I can choose to play from whatever I want. Like I said, I have my phone hardwired in through the New Trent case that I'm currently testing out for New Trent. And full disclosure, I purchased this radio. This is my radio. I did not receive this radio from Alpine. There's no bias to this review whatsoever. Obviously I have an iPhone and I want Carplay to be awesome, but there are quirks about it, and I don't know if it's specifically Carplay. I think it's more the app developer for the Carplay, because almost all of the Apple apps for Carplay work awesome. I really haven't had any problems with them. And actually, to be honest, I've had a radio prior to this that had voice feature, so I could actually, use Siri and control it through the radio. It was crap in comparison. Now, more than likely, the microphone that I put up here for my Alpine radio, I think the microphone is that much better. But even if I'm going down the highway at 70 miles, 65, 70 miles an hour, it works great. So it does a really good job. I've had maybe twice, maybe 3 times where it messed up what I was trying to get done. But if I asked it to do something, for instance, text my wife or whatever, even the text messages as well as the commands were understood very, very well. So I give that with the quality of the microphone as well as the radio passing the information, interpolating everything just fine to the phone, and then of course Siri understanding, making sense of what I actually said. So the radio itself, and I hope that you can actually see this, I'm using my GoPro in the best quality mode it has, but of course I am driving on the road, so you're probably going to get a little bit of bounciness to it, and I'm trying to stay reasonably fast. My speedometer is not accurate because my tires aren't right, so if you see that, oh look, he's speeding, I'm actually not. So I'm trying to keep it legal. Obviously, if I want to go somewhere, for instance, I could actually click on the maps and obviously go into my destinations and find out. Now here's where I actually am, here in Dubuque, Iowa, and then of course I could go by that. So if I want to go to, let's say, let me go back in there, destinations, Marshalltown, Iowa, is where I was actually this last weekend for state gymnastics meet for my daughter. I can actually hit start.
Starting route to Marshalltown.
And it'll
take a slight left turn onto Delhi Street. In half a mile, turn left onto Dodge Street.
So obviously it's telling me how to get there.
Turn right onto Dodge Street.
Now, I have used the maps part of this a few times, and I'm going to actually leave it go, because that way you can hear what it sounds like when I'm actually going over other things. So there I'm on the main screen, it's telling me, hey, I'm not on the maps page, but make sure you turn right onto Dodge Street when you get there. Now, of course, my hometown, there's a few roads that are not correct. thankfully I know where the heck I'm going here, so. But let's go ahead and start, I guess, show you the other things here. Music is obviously music that is in my, on my phone, showing you the various stuff I have available, artists, things like that. Now this, if you have iTunes Match, which I do, as long as it's enabled on your phone, you're going to see all your iTunes Match stuff here. So almost all of this is not on my phone, and but it's available to me here, and I can use it how I see fit. So here in a moment, it's going to come up with an error on my map code saying that, hey, you're not going in the right direction, but that's all right. So let's go ahead and get out of music. Messages is going to, I can go in there, and right away it's going to ask me to.
Who would you like to text?
Nobody. Let's see if I don't even know what's going to
Okay, then.
So it knows that I didn't want to text anybody. Now, obviously, it's in the text messages menu. I can see people that I have text messaged previously or received messages from. If I click on them, it'll actually.
Green Street, then turn left onto Figley Street.
Yeah, so it's automatically updating. It's giving me the stuff for the turn-by-turn directions. But I can actually, like my wife, I can click on here.
Okay, what do you want to say to Anna M. Schuster?
And then I can cancel even. If you want a text message, obviously you can push and click and hold. Text Anna.
Okay, what do you want to say to Anna M. Schuster?
I will see you tonight.
Your message to Anna M. Schuster says, I will see you tonight. Ready to send it?
No. So sometimes it's right on the money with everything. Sometimes it isn't right on the money with everything. I can't say that everything works flawlessly all the time, but usually, I don't want to send it now. I decided not to, like I just did. But that said, if I hit continue, let's see what happens.
Okay, you can send it, cancel it, or change it, or you can ask me to read it back.
Read it back.
Your message to Anna M. Schuster says, I will see you tonight. Ready to send it?
No, cancel.
Okay, I won't send it.
So, there we go. For some reason it got fed up, but maybe it was because of the directions. It didn't like that. I don't know, but you can hear that clicking noise in the background. So, if I go back into the maps mode, which obviously I just click on the directions, I can actually end my whole experience there. That way we're not getting interrupted. And that may have actually interrupted the text message up, but I just hit continue and there it went. So, now playing is going to go into whatever you had playing last. So obviously, I haven't played anything yet. But if I go to like one of the ones I like to listen to, CBS News. The one thing I don't like about this news app is sometimes it takes a little while for it to boot up. The neat thing is that it automatically starts as soon as you start the app. And going to now playing, right now it's playing CBS Radio Latest News, which is what I usually play. I didn't even have to click on, the latest newscast. It just went right into it as soon as I opened the app. Sometimes, and I think it's actually just dependent on maybe your internet connection, but sometimes I'll click it, and even if I click latest newscast or news nonstop, it just takes 30, 60 seconds for it to get going. And I think it's more of an app error because it doesn't really do that with any of the other apps. But let's head over to one I use a lot, Podcast app, which is an Apple app, so it tends to work really good. And obviously you can hear that the CBS Radio News is still playing in the background because I haven't played selected anything else to play yet. But if I go into my podcasts, let's say Ear Biscuits, which is a podcast I listen to, it'll just start playing an Ear Biscuit.
Welcome to Ear Biscuits. I'm Link and I'm Rhett.
And then if one app I can say that does kill off the audio is if I go out into Stitcher. As soon as I go into Stitcher, typically, kills the audio. So even if you're in the menu and you don't have anything that you're listening to yet, it will kill the audio feed just to go into Stitcher. And that's the same thing on the phone. If you had something playing on the phone and you're just on your phone, it will kill it. So you can go to your My Phone page and watch and listen to your latest news. One thing that I really hope Stitcher changes is the one thing that really irks me. on my phone, if I open the Stitcher app and right away, as soon as I go to the latest, it'll automatically update and it'll make sure that you have the latest news. On CarPlay, it doesn't do that, and it could be a security thing, or it doesn't want to, the CarPlay doesn't want to make you use your stuff. I don't know, but to be honest, that's really annoying because you can't open the Stitcher app on your phone either. So when you go to the Stitcher app on your phone while you're connected to CarPlay, all you get is the CarPlay interface. It just says, hey, you're connected to CarPlay, which is truly annoying because I can't update it unless I unplug CarPlay or disconnect CarPlay, so I can actually go into the app straightforward, update everything, and then reconnect to CarPlay. So if you're a big Stitcher fan and you have a CarPlay radio, I hope everybody emails Stitcher at the same time and have them update that feature, because that's truly annoying. Obviously, CBS Radio News is the latest newscast. It doesn't matter if you're in CarPlay or not. You're going to get the latest newscast. Where Stitcher is not that way. You do not get the latest newscast unless you update the feed, and you can't update the feed while in CarPlay, while in the CarPlay interface. Truly annoying, in my opinion. Spotify, if you're a Spotify user, as soon as you go into Spotify, and probably going to get my wife's playlists just because of the fact that she listens to it more than I do. Save my music. Yeah, so I can play stuff off my playlists. You can play stuff off YouTube or Spotify radio and just listen to a radio station. You can do everything except for really search. You can do, let's go to browse. You can do at the top list. You can go to simple things, but you're not going to be able to search for a specific artist and that album, things like that, because you shouldn't be taking your eyes off the road that long anyway. So that's just the truth behind it. Lastly, let's see, apps that I really don't use. iHeartRadio, but I'm not a huge radio listener. I listen to more podcasts than anything else. But iHeartRadio, I don't even know if I'm logged into iHeartRadio. Yeah, so my stations, my podcasts, listen to things like that, and I tend to use the podcast or Stitcher for podcasts. Umano is a news station where I've actually just recently set up myself, personalized, and it'll just start, give you your personalized news update. When you start Umano, when you create a Umano account, you basically tell it things that you want to listen to. I want to listen to the latest headlines, or big updates, tech news, science news, things like that. And then you can actually break it down. Yeah, I want to listen to Mental Floss radio and stuff like that. Things that are history based or whichever. And you can change what you actually want your feed, and then they'll build your feed, obviously personalized to you, what you told it you'd liked. So that, in a nutshell, is CarPlay radio. So like I said, the quirks that I don't like, and this is specific to apps, like I said, most of everything is specific to apps itself. One being the fact that some of those apps, when you go into them, you can't see the hard copy. If I'm in some apps, like podcast app, or even CBS Radio News app, you will actually see it on your Spotify. You will see it on your phone, and if obviously if you have I would say if you have a passenger, you can have them play something specific, because you're not going to be able to get to that. That said, like Stitcher is one of those apps that I love and I use a lot. Even in CarPlay, I love it as long as I have it loaded up before I get into the car. So I update it before I get into the car. Then it's great. But it won't update while I'm in the car, at least while I'm connected to CarPlay. And of course, those of you that have a radio that has Bluetooth for wireless CarPlay, you'd have to disable your Bluetooth in order for you to update the Stitcher app, because as soon as you're connected to Bluetooth, you're going to connect to your CarPlay radio, and if you're connected to your CarPlay radio, you can't do anything in the app on your phone. It's just going to give you the CarPlay interface screen. So with CarPlay, it's only going to get better the more apps that they bring out for it. So the more apps, the better the experience. But of course, there is still in the learning phase for app developers that are creating apps for it. So like Stitcher, I think that they could do a lot better with some certain things. I like the interface. It's just that, please, if nothing else, allow you to take your finger and do the pull down to refresh, because that would make everything so awesome in the app. Because as long as you, even if you just create a button that's a little refresh button, like your little, standard browser refresh button, that would make the experience that much better. Even if the screen went black for a second and then it came back up with your new ones, perfect. But please allow it to update, because that's one thing that I personally can't get it to do. Another thing, obviously we have the radio. The same thing what I do with my messages, I could tell Siri, hey, call this person, or I can actually go into my recent call lists and have a call, whichever. And of course, the hands-free calling is fantastic. I love it. But I don't call as much as I think, as much as I do messaging or listen to other things on the radio for CarPlay. So depending on what you're using it for, I will say that the call and the messaging function, fantastic. I love it. The audio function, depending on the app you use. And of course, there are apps that are still missing in the CarPlay interface, but they're coming. There's a lot coming. So if you get a chance, check it out. That said, on the iLX radio itself, I can honestly say that there's only a few things that I wish were a little different. I chose the Alpine radio over other ones that I knew did have Bluetooth, because of the fact that I liked the screen better, the touchscreen responsiveness, and I think it's pretty dang good. It's not quite as good as the iPhone or an iPad or something like that, but then again, it's also built to take abuse while in the vehicle. You don't think of it, but you put your iPhone on the dash in a hot day, and the phone's going to turn off because it gets too hot. Your radio's not going to do that. I mean, it's built to take heat and cold and all sorts of good stuff. All winter long that I had it, even with the negative 20-degree weather that we had, it worked fine. It worked like a champ. It worked great. So I have no problems with it being not quite as much of a touchscreen as the actual phone itself, but it is a pretty responsive touchscreen. I wish it had Bluetooth, I guess. Yes, there is an auxiliary input, but the nice thing is that with CarPlay, you don't have to, I have my full phone interface. If I actually go into like YouTube, for instance, YouTube is not a CarPlay enabled app. Of course, YouTube is mainly video, and CarPlay does not do video, transfer, so you're not going to be able to watch videos on there. But let's say I just click on whatever this is at the top of my feed. You're still going to hear the audio from it. So, there's a YouTube video playing on my phone, but I'm getting the audio. This is why I strap my camera in, because of red lights like that. So you're still going to get the audio. So if there's an app that you use that currently is not supported by CarPlay, it doesn't mean you can't use it while connected via CarPlay. You don't have to connect a different way. It's still going to play, because CarPlay is a lot like AirPlay. It's not mirroring your screen or sending photos. It's AirPlay audio coupled with CarPlay interface. It's kind of like two things meshed together, and that's exactly what it is. Because if you go on your phone, you'll see that it's actually listed as an AirPlay audio device. That's where all your audio is going. No matter what it is, it's going to go to the radio. So big kudos to that, because once I have my phone plugged in, no matter what, if I have an app that I listen to that or I want to check out real quick, the audio is still going to come over my radio, which is the goal in the end. Of course, the CarPlay interface is what I really want, because that's going to make it so much more enjoyable to use, specifically because I don't have to get my phone out, and I don't have to play with my phone and risk taking my eyes off the road. If you've noticed, probably while I'm driving, I haven't really taken my eyes off the road that much, to be honest, because it does work, in my opinion. Yes, of course, anything that's in the car is a distraction. So yes, this is more of a distraction than not having it. But what's more of a distraction? Having your phone in your hand, trying to navigate the small menu items, or having something that's built for quick and easy touching? I'll take the latter of two evils, I guess. And I really, truly don't believe that they're going to come out with these laws saying that, no, you can't use this, because that'll kill everything. And the American public doesn't want to have that, just like we want to have cup holders and drinks and food and everything else in the vehicle with us, because that's just our culture. So that said, my ranting is over with. Hope you enjoyed my little video, I guess, on my driving experience with CarPlay. I touched on most things, but probably not all things. Overall, would I do it again? Yes. I think it would have been an easier purchase if this specific radio had Bluetooth, because when I took my purchase on this specific radio, I was really going back and forth between the Alpine 007, the iLX-007, and the app radio 4 from Pioneer. Both the same money. I did look at some of the higher end Pioneer ones as well that have GPS and all that stuff, but you know, it came down to no. I have it in my phone. I'd rather use Apple Maps through CarPlay than having the opposites. So no, I don't need that. I don't care for that. I won't use it almost ever unless I'm going on a long journey. So it's not that big a deal for me to not have it connect to my phone for maps. And of course, there's a lot more money for that too. But if there's one thing that I wish this radio had, it was Bluetooth. That said, it is an iPhone only radio, and I'm okay with it being plugged in, like I said, because hey, it charges my phone while I'm driving. So it keeps it charged up, allows me to do this, so when I get there I have full battery and ready to go. So if you have any comments, please post those below. Like I said, I'll put the little link in the cards to the previous video, and I'm probably going to do one more video on the CarPlay radio, this specific radio, more of a out of the dash, show you everything with the radio itself, and I'll do that on a later date as well. So keep an eye out for that. I will do some more updates. I have lots of reviews I've got to get filmed here in short order to keep up with all the stuff I've got backlogged, it seems. But I had time to sit in the car and show you this today, and I hope you enjoyed it. So comment below, subscribe to my channel. I love to, I'm trying to build out as many as possible. The more subscribers I get, the more products I'm probably going to get sent to do reviews on. So I'd love to have as many people watch my videos as possible, as well as please sponsor or help out the sponsors of YouTube itself around each of my videos. Of course, the only reason I can afford to do some of these things and show you everything is that I do get reimbursed a little bit, at least from YouTube, which makes me want to do more videos. So I appreciate all of you who help out the show, whether it's through YouTube or through our website, techgooch.com, where you can make donations directly, which go directly back into the videos and into the giveaways. So make sure you check us over on Facebook, facebook.com/techgooch. We do, right now I'm doing a giveaway of several iPhone cases. I have some more giveaways to do, and like I said, the only way I can do that is that I have video or products to give away, which obviously comes down to donations and sponsors. So thanks again for watching, and if you have any other questions, please direct them over to me, either directly from YouTube itself or through our Facebook page, because I do try to get back to every single person that comes in contact with me as soon as I possibly can. Lately it's been within a day or so. So please let us know how we're doing. Thanks again for stopping by, and